Welcome. Thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm going to give a few minutes for the beginning here to let people join in, log in, get settled in with their Zoom, and we'll get started in a few moments. Thank you. As people are coming in, I want to thank you for joining. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes to let everyone log in and get settled before we get started. All right, let's get started. Welcome to today's webinar, Navigating the World of Licensing Options with DraftSight, where we'll go over the different license models that we offer at DraftSight, as well as other aspects of flexibility. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Jack Lane, and I will be your presenter. I'm a DraftSight application engineer here at Dassault Systems, and I have over a decade of experience using various 2D and 3D CAD programs in both professional and educational environments. If you have any questions during this webinar, please feel free to ask in the Zoom Q&A, and then we'll get to them at the end of the presentation in our live Q&A portion. The goal of today's webinar is to discover the world of licensing flexibility with DraftSight and review the many choices you have for optimizing your licensing based on your specific needs. But first, let's ask the question, what is DraftSight? DraftSight is 2D drafting, design, and collaboration. DraftSight offers best-in-class CAD solutions that are rich in features and capabilities. You can create, edit, view, and mark up any 2D or 3D DWG file with a strong catalog of commands and tools. It's trusted by millions of designers spread across many industries and applications. We offer a strong portfolio of different editions of DraftSight, all with various features and interoperability, which we'll go over soon. Every edition of DraftSight offers great flexibility with either file compatibility, network flexibility with our shared network license model, or cloud flexibility, and we'll talk about all that in a bit. DraftSight allows for seamless transition from other 2D CAD solutions as well, with customizable command names and a very familiar user interface. If you are working with DWG files, no file conversions are required to make the switch. Just load any DWG files straight into DraftSight and start drawing and designing. Greatly increase your value in return with DraftSight without sacrificing any of the quality you come to expect. Let's move on to an overview of the licensing options for DraftSight. First, we have our on-premise options, which in this case means that the license key is housed within the machine rather than in the cloud or on a network. Essentially, one license equals DraftSight on one machine. These options are Professional and Premium, with Professional on the left, Premium on the right. DraftSight Professional contains all of your essential 2D drawing capabilities, as well as powerful tools like smart dimensioning, DWF publishing. You also get full access and support with the DraftSight API. You also can load in your Lisp or auto Lisp files. And Professional is available with term licensing. And then moving to the right, we have DraftSight Premium, where you get all of the power that DraftSight has to offer. You get everything that comes with DraftSight Professional, as well as the ability to create and edit custom blocks, batch PDF import, 2D constraints, 3D modeling, and sheet set manager. And on the note of the custom blocks, you can import dynamic blocks from other 2D CAD options. They just have to be converted to the custom block, which is just a click of a button. So with Professional and Premium, these are our on-premise options. Moving on, we have the network license options for DraftSight. 2023 is off to a rocky start for some CAD users as larger software providers continue to make changes to their licensing models. In January, one provider removed a discount promotion for long-term subscriptions of 3 years. And as of February, customers can no longer renew multi-user subscriptions. That same provider is also transitioning all users to a named user license model, thus retiring maintenance plans and subscriptions with multi-user access. These changes obviously mean that CAD users who previously relied on shared network licenses will now have to purchase one license per user, which increases costs substantially. For example, a team of 30 that only needs and shares 6 licenses is now going to have to purchase 30 different licenses rather than just sharing all they need with just 6. The sharp increase in cost really underscores the importance of a licensing model that offers options for businesses and teams of all sizes and shapes. And that's where DraftSight's network licensing comes in. It enables companies to pool their network seats and cover the changing needs of their rotating staff, all while keeping costs under control. DraftSight offers an efficient and flexible solution to CAD users impacted by these changes made by other providers. Additionally, to make things even easier, any existing SolidWorks customers that are utilizing a license server with SolidWorks Solid Network License Manager, or SNL, they can use that same server to manage their DraftSight licenses. They can also use the DSLS, or Dassault Systems License Manager program, to do the same. So if you already have an existing network to manage your licenses on either of those platforms, you can just plug your DraftSight licenses right in. We believe it's important to support you by offering a choice of licenses to match the way that you work. The DraftSight Enterprise solution includes all of the features of DraftSight Professional with the added benefit of network licensing and full technical support. Our Enterprise Plus solution also includes the advanced features in DraftSight Premium, as well as the additional network licensing and full technical support. And again, Enterprise Plus has everything that Enterprise has as well. Now, the newest addition to the DraftSight portfolio is DraftSight Mechanical, where you can access and manipulate mechanical data created in other 2D CAD programs. DraftSight Mechanical offers customizable part references, BOM and parts list managing, and smart balloons to annotate mechanical drawings with ease. And again, if you have an existing mechanical 2D CAD solution, DraftSight Mechanical can read that data that's already in those drawings, such as part references. And then you can edit them and utilize them from there. And last but certainly not least, we have our 3D Experience cloud solutions. 3D Experience DraftSight Professional, Premium, and Mechanical. The 3D Experience platform is a single solution that brings together many different applications into a single collaborative environment. And the nice thing is, within the DraftSight window, you have an integrated panel where you can access the platform applications such as Project Manager or tasks, structured and unstructured collaborations such as 3D Swim, all of that right within the DraftSight interface. At its core, it connects all of your team members together, encourages collaboration across all activities, and provides visibility to all users from any device. Due to DraftSight being hosted in the cloud, there's no need for a full download onto each machine, and DraftSight is always going to be up to date. So our offerings for this start with 3D Experience DraftSight Professional, where you get access to unstructured collaboration tools such as the swim community, dashboards, as well as file previewing and annotation. So here you get a platform for your team to talk in an unstructured setting. And then in the middle, we have 3D Experience DraftSight Premium, where you get access to more of that structured collaboration power. You get everything offered in 3D Experience DraftSight Professional. And like I said, the structured collaboration tools. You get integrated revision control, as well as a complex project management tool with the project planner. You also get lifecycle management and issue tracking. And this same 3D Experience platform integration is also available with DraftSight Mechanical as well. So you get everything that 3D Experience DraftSight offers with the added mechanical features of DraftSight Mechanical. So it's the real full kit and caboodle. So switching over to the actual implementation of our shared network license model, let's talk about SNL and DSLS. SNL is short for Solid Network License Manager, and DSLS is short for Dassault Systèmes License Manager. And both are tools used to manage your license keys that grant access to DraftSight. Let's start with the Solid Network License Manager. The SNL is used to manage our term licenses, which give you the opportunity to upgrade to a newer version of DraftSight every year. Now here's a quick list of what you need for the initial setup. As you can see, you need a DraftSight Enterprise or Enterprise Plus license, as well as the DraftSight files, which can be found at DraftSight.com/download. And then you also need the Solid Network License Manager install files as well. One thing that's very important to note is if you're, for example, installing DraftSight 2023, you need the Solid Network License Manager 2023 edition or newer. So you can't, for example, you can't manage DraftSight 2023 on SNL 2021. The SNL program has to be the same year or newer. You can't manage a newer version of DraftSight with an older version of SNL. And then the SNL install files can be found through the SOLIDWORKS customer portal. So you just need a SOLIDWORKS customer portal login for that. So some prerequisites for DraftSight and SNL 2023 in terms of your system requirements. So you need Windows 10 operating system, 64-bit or newer. And that being said, we do support Windows 11 for DraftSight 2023. And then you need Windows Server 2016 or newer. And one thing to note, SNL 2023 will be the last compatible SNL edition for Windows Server 16. So starting with SNL 2024, you're going to have to upgrade to Windows Server 2019. But for the sake of accuracy, you can run DraftSight 2023, SNL 2023 on Server 16. And all this information is specifically for DraftSight 2023. If you want a breakdown of some of the older editions, you can see that here, solidworks.com/support/system requirements. And then DraftSight, you can go to this link here. Now, for DraftSight term licenses, we have the Dassault Systèmes License Manager, aka DSLS. Now, a lot of this information is similar to the SNL information, but there are some slight variations that are worth pointing out and going over. The first things you're going to need are the DraftSight Enterprise or Enterprise Plus license files and the DraftSight installation files like before. And one of the differences between DSLS and SNL that I mentioned a second ago is the fact that within DSLS, the licenses are managed as a file, which are tied to your server, whereas SNL licenses are serial number based. It's a slight difference, but it's worth just pointing out. Again, the location is the same for the DraftSight download files, DraftSight.com/download. And then you're also going to need the most recent DSLS installer files if you're looking to run DraftSight 2023. And to reiterate, the same thing as with the SNL manager, whatever year version of DraftSight you are using, you are going to need that year's equivalent version of the DSLS or newer. You can't run a more recent edition of DraftSight on an older version of DSLS. And to get the install files for DSLS, you're going to need a support DS passport. So for the prerequisites for DSLS License Manager, you need Windows 10 operating system 64-bit. Unfortunately, there is not support at the moment for Windows 11, but keep an eye out for that update. And then similar to before, Windows Server 2016 or newer. And in addition, DSLS supports Linux, Red Hat Linux 7 or newer, and then Linux Enterprise Server 12 or newer. And again, all of this is for DraftSight 2023. For the full installation guide and layout of system requirements, what you need, all of this information, you can find that at the link below. I know it's a little long, but 3ds.com/support, documentation, resource library, single, Dassault Systems license server, and license keys. And just an FYI, these links will be provided in the follow-up email that everyone will receive 24 hours from now. So I know there are a lot of links, but they will be provided for you to look into them further for prerequisites, what you need, things like that. Staying on the topic of flexibility, but shifting gears a little bit, I'm going to talk about some of the file format flexibility advantages of DraftSight really quick. We're going to talk about legacy data as well as the different file formats you can import and export as using DraftSight. So first, you're not going to have any issue utilizing legacy DWG files. DraftSight has compatibility dating back to Release 12, and Release 12 was introduced in 1992. To put that compatibility into context, 1992 was just when cassette tapes were phased out in favor of compact discs, and the famous Dream Team was assembled for the Summer Olympics. So that backwards compatibility dates back a long ways. And looking here, you can see the file formats that DraftSight can export files as. Highlighted in that list is DWG, which is kind of the powerhouse, as well as DXF, DWF, and STL files. So you really get that 2D and 3D capability with DraftSight. And now on the right side, you have the import or open file formats. Again, DWG, DXF, DWF, all there. You can import PDFs, images, as well as other 3D formats like STL, SAT, and then Delmia and Home by Me files as well. So I just wanted to highlight on a different kind of flexibility that DraftSight offers you. Now, after all this flexibility talk, hopefully you're thinking, this sounds great. I wonder how easy it is to switch to DraftSight. Well, making the switch to DraftSight is incredibly easy with a user-friendly interface that looks, feels, and performs like other CAD tools you're already familiar with. Most clients report that they're up and running at the same level of efficiency in less than a day, with all of their Lisp routines, layer state files, and sheet set manager files working as expected. I can personally speak to this transition. I'm a former user of another 2D CAD tool, and I found the switch to be incredibly easy. I was able to pick up DraftSight and work efficiently in less than a day. Let's switch over to DraftSight and take a look at the user interface. And first thing we notice is a very familiar layout. Just FYI, I'm currently running DraftSight connected here, so this is the cloud version. However, the user interface is consistent throughout. The largest part of our screen, as we can see, is our model space here, where we do all of our drafting and design work. We also have the sheet space here as well, set up pretty consistently. Then at the top of your screen, you'll see the ribbon here with all of your tabs organized as well. Here we have Home, Insert, Import, Export, Attach, Annotate, Sheet, constraints, manage, view, power tools, and toolbox. And within our home tab, we have our standard drawing tools, modify, annotation, your layer managers here, the properties options, as well as the properties tab on the side panel, which we'll talk about in a second, and then our groups and tools. And the nice thing is that this interface, these ribbons, these tabs and panels are all fully customizable. So you can set them however you like and then deploy that layout to your entire team. And I know I just briefly mentioned it, but here we have our panels on the side here, otherwise known as elements. And going through them here, we have properties, our G-code generator, 3D Content Central integrated right here, and then our Home by Me integration, as well as many more that we can get into. For example, our design resources palette right here, as well as our sheet set manager here. So you can pick and choose which elements you'd like to see. And then on the bottom, we have our status bar, where you get a lot of the toggle options like ortho, grid, e-snaps, all of that. So again, very familiar, very consistent with what you're probably familiar with other 2D CAD programs. And the great thing is that you can fully customize this interface to your liking. So moving on, another great thing about making the switch to DraftSight is the ability to make aliases for commands. So under user preferences and aliases, you can create shortcuts or names or different names for any command that you like. So here our alias, we can create a shortcut. As you can see, fill, shortcuts to the command display fills. DR is a shortcut for display order. And you can just add any alias you want for any command. So if you and your team are very familiar with previous command names from your other 2D CAD product, you can essentially create an alias for the DraftSight version of that command if you'd like. It just makes the switch so much easier. And again, our DraftSight's deployment wizard makes it easy to create this profile, all these settings, package them up, and then distribute them out to your team. So switching back to our presentation here, we really encourage users to get their hands on DraftSight and try it out themselves. You can go to our website, DraftSight.com, and try our free 30-day trial of DraftSight Premium and see for yourself how easy it is to switch and how it can handle your needs. Here, if you look here, you can see the free trial option right on the homepage, and it's just a quick, simple download, and then you can start using DraftSight for 30 days. So to wrap up, just a quick recap of everything we talked about today. We talked about, what is DraftSight, a quick overview of what DraftSight is as a whole, some of the various license options that you have with DraftSight, on-premise, network license, as well as cloud through the 3D Experience platform. We dove into the different license managing softwares for the network licenses, SNL and DSLS. And then we talked briefly about some file format flexibility that comes with DraftSight, the different files that you can import and export as. And then we wrapped everything up with some discussion about making the switch to DraftSight and how familiar the user interface is and similar the commands can be if you utilize aliases. If you'd like to learn more about DraftSight, you can go to DraftSight.com. There's product information as well as some video tutorials there. You can also go to our YouTube channel where you can find a lot more of those video tutorials, best practice videos, things along that line. And you can book a demo of DraftSight, whether it's on-premise or 3D Experience DraftSight or even DraftSight Mechanical. And you can do that through the link shown here at DraftSight.com. And now I'd like to open it up for a live Q&A, so you can ask questions for myself and some of our technical experts. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and switch over.